Loki BTD, and this is an example of uh, what happens when you don't communicate when you're going late game. So to me, when you go late game, you don't have an opponent, you have a partner. This means you should communicate everything you want to do. So we're both going the same strategy, and that's pretty much where our communication stopped. We didn't discuss any tactics. We're both going 13 tempos, obviously. We both went 3 ice star because we both know how valuable that is. Just get a bit more time for building eco before the game gets hard and to place towers. So that's fine. That's pretty much expected. But our tactics after that changed drastically because it's after that it's basically what our idea of the end game defense would be. What a defense looks like when you have a full map. For me, I don't really like micro because when you go late game, the maps it's difficult to see because there's so many towers and projectiles and balloons on the map, so it's difficult to micro. You also have a chance of accidentally setting a tempo when you micro. This has happened to some people in the past. It's not great. And then, of course, since you're depending on micro to survive, especially with Chipper, because you need to use it every 4 seconds, if you mess up, if you're slow, then you could leak a BFB, you could leak a Moab, and that's not good. It's a test of endurance and consistency, and in some games you could be going for 2 or 3 hours, which is an insane amount of time to be microing consistently for. So I just choose not to go and do that. So anyways, other than that, so yeah, Loki on the other hand is fine with microing, whatever you're comfortable with, and so that's the first thing. I'm going with ability with placing the towers beforehand for abilities. He's microing. Then, as you can see, I'm placing my super vacs around the center of the map, in the circles and a few at the entrance because of range issues. And then Loki is going around the edge of the map. So what's happening here is my chippers will suck the ZMGs towards the center of the map, where everything can target them, and anything not targeting them is targeting something nearby, so they will hit them indirectly because of Pierce, just collateral damage. Whereas Loki's plan is to suck them in towards the edge, and that causes them to spread out more, and the towers then are spreading out where they're shooting, and not all of the balloons are getting hit by all of the projectiles then. And that means I'm going to be doing, I've optimized for Pierce, and I'm going to be doing more damage to individual balloons as well as the entire group compared to Loki, and that means that I'll start anti-starting pretty hard compared to him, and you'll see that later on. You'll see just how big of a difference that is. So we should have discussed this, what our idea of perfect defense would have been, and then instead of trying it, because now it's just basically my tactics versus his tactics, we should have actually tried them both. We should have gone, well, let's go with my tactics, see what round we get. But then let's go with your tactics, see what round that gets. Because that way you can actually see how good they are and how high round they get. The way we're doing it now just shows which anti-star is more and how much anti-star can I do before he dies, or can he survive that much anti-star before I die from a worse defense possibly. So that's not really a good way to go late game. It's not a good way to decide which strategy is better, because Sniper, for example, would die to most strategies because it does not have a huge amount of damage. It is just a huge, insane amount of star, because a stopped ZMG is not a threat. But it means you have no tech towers. It means that any damage from tech towers that the other side does is very much an issue, because it causes multiple rounds, and Sniper being single target means that you don't have as many, you can't handle too many balloons at a time. Anyway, so you can see it's round 86. I'm AFK just sending pinks because my defense is doing just fine. I am dealing a lot of damage. I'm able to pop all the ZMGs before they get too far down the map, whereas Loki is not doing as fine. I've already popped most of my ZMGs into BFBs. Oh yeah, there you go. I said destroy because the round's about to start in 2 seconds. And then, yeah, there you go. Loki still has ZMGs on screen. That's how much of an anti-start I'm doing. Now Loki has to deal with 2 rounds worth of ZMGs. I don't. and I clean up faster, and then he deals less damage to the ZMGs that are just spawned because he's focusing on the older ones, and it is not good. He just starts to struggle, and we'll see that for the down round to 98, he decides to boost to try to keep up. And yeah, so I was AFKing just sending pinks back then. He was still using all the abilities. He was using Tech Terror for dash damage, Ice to stall, Chipper, Super Vac to stop the mobs and BFBs from exiting. It also is actually helpful because it clumps them all up, so you can deal high amounts of Pierce and max optimize for popping power, like I was doing. But he needs to use an ability for that, which is an issue, I guess. Well, it's not an issue, but how do I describe it? It shows just how much better my defense is, because I get that with a passive placement, whereas he has to actively do that. And yeah, so round 98, he boosts to keep up, just to try and match me, and then hope, because what can happen is, if you fall behind because of anti-star or something, then you might not be able to catch up, and that really though, you should catch up within a round or two, just because of averages, I guess. But yeah, he tries to catch up, seeing if this will just help him a bit, because he fell behind, and it helps for the round. I still popped the BFBs earlier than him, and he boosted. He had double damage, and I still popped the BFBs so the ZMGs faster. I had the mobs first, and he had double damage. He uses Tech Towers. I still am just starting. I don't need the Tech Towers because I don't have the damage. Next round starts. He's doing pretty good. He's almost caught up. That is good. Except now he doesn't have a boost active, so he's going to fall behind again if I'm doing more damage than him, which I pretty much am, because I'm optimized for popping power. He's optimized for star. So the reason why I placed them around the map is because you gain a bit more time from the amount of time it takes for the ZMG to go from the track to the chipper, and for it to go from the chipper to the track. It's a tiny bit amount of time, and he thought that was worth it for a tiny bit more star. I did not agree with that, which is why I placed them in the center, because it ruins it significantly lowers your Pierce, the amount of popping power, and it's this is what happens. You end up doing less damage, and the amount of stall you gain from it is so small, it's hardly measurable. Like, it's a second or two on the track, and that's not really something you can, that to me is worth it compared to the amount of damage you'd gain from just having a centralized defense. And yeah, so around 100, and I've almost cleaned up. He's still got BFBs on screen. He's around 10 seconds behind on like popping the ZMGs. And then roughly half a minute behind on popping the Moabs and BFBs for cleanup. So that's not good. We should have communicated better. We should have said what we wanted to do, but we just didn't. Anyways, so yeah, I talked about the stall. So yeah, I'll link Loki's channel in the description, or maybe a collab or something, I'm not sure, but it'll be there. It'll definitely be there. And yeah, so here we are around 106. As you can see, I've already started popping my previous round to Moabs. He's still got BFBs. There we go, there's his first Moabs, just as I've pretty much finished cleaning up. So now he's got a bunch of BFBs and Moabs to deal with, and the ZMGs. I've just got ZMGs to handle, and this is just how much more of a damage I'm doing. And this doesn't mean that my tactics were better for him for getting a high round. It just means it was better damage. I think though my tactic is better for a high round because of the amount of damage I do deal, but it's not always the case, as Sniper proves time and time again. Anyways, yeah, so that's about it. Right, so I had 12 chippers. I could have gone with much less, like 5 to 7 I should have really placed. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went 40 divided by 4 is 10, add 2, we'll get 12 just to be safe. Of course, Loki microed that pretty consistently the entire time, so good job. I probably would have messed up somewhere. I might have got an input delay, I might have just chubby thumbs because I'm on mobile. I'm not great at micro. I could have sold a tempo too, but yeah, I don't agree with microing unless you really have to, because it's not consistent, and it adds a lot more risk to the strategy. And yeah, so it's also really difficult to see the progress of the balloons because of Chipper. So I'm not sure, he might have leaked to BFBs, could have been Moabs, could have even been ZMGs, but I doubt it was ZMGs. It probably was a BFB because they can only be sucked in for 4 seconds, and then it would have leaked. But yeah, he dies, and that's game. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.